All right, here we are. We are here for round two, Love Your Money with for our Empire Dynasty. And Carolina had an emergency with a client. Not a good emergency. She's going to try her hardest to be here tonight. If she cannot make it, she's going to take the reins next week as we go even further into our workshop masterclass over the next few weeks. All right, so she really wants to be here. She's going to try her hardest, but again, clients come first, and it's not a good situation, and her client is very lucky that she has Carolina there on her team to navigate through this. Okay, so as I was just saying to Monica and Joan, tonight we're going to do a deep dive into really cash flow, your net worth, and what's been going on to get you to where you are today. Okay, what are the decisions? What are the habits? How are you spending money, earning money, saving money? What have you been doing to get you where you are today? Are they working? Are they not working? How can we tweak them or enhance them if they are working? How do we completely reroute you if they aren't working? And as I said before, everyone is exactly where you are today because of the decisions we've made in the past. And I was thinking of this yesterday when I was on a call with a woman who just joined our Money Empire program, and we were going through her expenses, and I go, okay, what is this debt from? She goes, well, I was helping a friend out. What was this debt from? Well, I was helping my sister out. And I started to see a pattern of her always feeling the need to bail everybody else out, but there's nobody left to bail her out. And we're going to talk about that tonight too. Those are her money beliefs and behaviors, feeling the need to help everybody. But who's there to help her? Nobody. And I said, if you want to keep helping people, and I'm all about that, I'm a big proponent of continuing to help people. But if you run out of money, nobody's going to be helped. So the more you protect and manage your own money, the more you can help people out going forward. Okay? So again, most of you know me, but in case you don't, again, I'm Jessica Weaver. This is a little bit about our community that we have built. My book, Strong Women, Stronger Assets, which everybody who's in the program has received.
Yes, thank you so much. I just wanted to mention this, that I received the book. So
oh, good. Thank you
so much, Jessica. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And this book is great. It's for women in transition, women in crisis, going through something, really wanting to enhance their life. Time to Refine, the latest book. We just had our 1-year anniversary. And then our communities, our Money Empire and our Retirement Club, and then my blog, Not Your Father's Advisor. So on my blog, Not Your Father's Advisors, we have a ton of free resources there, a lot that happens there, whether it's interviews with other business professionals, my blog, workshops like this, any new events, they're all there. Okay. So I really want to start off with a discussion about why is money important to you? Okay, why is money important to your life? And I know some people say money can be freedom. I mean, you could just raise your hand if this resonates with one of you. Is it freedom? Is it security? Security? Is it stability? Some stability? Is it love? I know my parents, and I think a piece of it is how they grew up, but their way of showing love is buying us stuff, buying the grandkids stuff. My dad loves buying his neighbors wine and chocolates and donuts on the weekends. That's his way of showing that he cares. And just like the woman in my Money Empire program, that's a big value for her. That's a big reason money is important to her, because she's able to help people in crisis. She's not doing it the right way right now. We'll fix it, but she'll be able to do it even in bigger ways down the road. But for her, money is a way to show that she cares for people. Anybody have anything else? Is money success? Some people think if I earn a lot of money, that means I'm successful. Hit or miss with that one. It could also be, some people feel guilty to want to earn more money. I'm blessed to have all this money now. I feel guilty wanting more or asking for more money. Okay, so why is money important to you? Anybody have anything else that I didn't mention? No? Okay. So I know freedom, independence, security, those are pretty high on everybody's list, right? And that's exactly why in my programs we focus on my different systems that build you to those points. So the first one is stability, right? We need to be financially stable. Then we can build to financial security. Then we can build to financial independence, which is that freedom. And then the last piece that a lot of people don't think about until a lot later in life, retirement, 70s, 80s, is their financial legacy. What type of legacy are you leaving the next generation or even the world? And I think a lot of people get hooked on the money aspect of it, how many dollars I'm going to leave my children or a charity. But you can also view it as my money values, working hard for my money, not just spending money recklessly. That's another legacy that you can pass on and it not even cost you any money. But I think the legacy piece is something we all should keep in mind as we work through this, because usually when we're trying to get help with our money, it's not just about us. It's about the people around us too. The truth is, this is what I know, we need money. We need money in our life, and money impacts every single aspect of our life, doesn't it? It affects everything. It affects our mental health, our physical health, our surroundings, our home. A lot of times it affects our identity, our self-worth, right? How much better do you feel about yourself when you have $10,000 in your bank account versus $100 in your bank account? You feel a lot differently about yourself, right? I saw that common thread when I started to write my first book, and that's where I talk about raising your self-worth to raise your net worth. They're so tied. Our self-worth and our net worth are so tied, and that's how society has trained us to be. It's not our fault. But we can raise our net worth, that will raise our self-worth. But if we also raise our self-worth and what we deserve in life, our net worth always follows in line with that. So to reach your goals, you need a healthy relationship with money. We need the right beliefs, the right systems for your money personality. We are all designed differently. All of our makeups are so different, and that's good. That's what makes us interesting. It is also what makes us healthy, because as you know, in a business, you need people who are creative. You also need people who are business minded to manage it. You also need the accountants, the engineers, are very analytical people to see the number side of it. Same thing with our money. It's very good to work with people who are a different personality than you, because it holds everybody in check and in line. But a spender's role or plan is going to be different than a saver's plan. Somebody who completely avoids their money and the money issues, they're going to need a different plan or different type of support than somebody who looks at their accounts 5 times a day. Okay, so there are different money personalities. There are 5 of them that we teach, and it's very healthy to understand your money personality. It's very eye-opening. It's a great perspective to come at. But like I said, your systems are going to be different. Your behaviors are going to be different. So it's not about changing yourself, right? It's not about going on a diet, because diets are very restricting. And it's the same thing as budgeting. Budgeting is very restricting. And one budget isn't going to work for every personality out there. Okay. Why are investments important to you? Has anybody thought about this? Why is investing money important to you? Let's take a minute. I want you to think about this and write it down if you can. I want you to write down to why is money important to you, and then why is investing money important to you? in my world, investments, right? This is the sexy stuff. This is the stuff I get excited about. Investments save you time and money. The sooner you start saving money and investing it, you actually have to save a whole lot less to get to the same number if you start sooner. So you have to save less. It also saves you a lot of time because if you start investing money and that money is growing for you on its own, right? It's not taking up your time, your energy, it's growing on its own. You can get to places a lot quicker. Hopefully, that's the goal behind them, right? Behind good investments, a good plan, a solid approach. It's going to save you a lot of time and money. And I was talking about this with my good friend is a money coach out in Vegas, and she works with millennial women. And she had me come on to talk about retirement since I'm the retirement guru here. And we are talking about exactly that. And it was interesting to see their take on it because when you come out of college, what's sexier? Buying the gorgeous pair of shoes or setting up your 401k at work? What's going to give you instant gratification? The shoes, not their 401k savings and stuff. But the sooner you begin saving, the less you're going to have to save in the end. The habits you're going to form are going to be incredible. And also, it's going to save you so much more time, right? Instead of you constantly having to be work for the money, your money's earning its own paycheck, its own salary.
Jessica, if my job doesn't offer 401k, so what do you think? Where should I invest my money?
That is a great question, Monica. I would love to talk about that with you one-on-one. If you want to go to my calendar, I'll put it in the chat at some point. Once I stop sharing, I'll put it in the chat. But there are so many different options. Okay, so it's very hard to give you a blanket answer for that because there's a 401k, there's IRAs, there's Roth IRAs, which is an individual retirement account just for you, Monica. But going into that, there's different income limits we have to think about. There's different tax consequences we want to go into. And then that is just the type of account. Beyond that are all the different investments you can invest in. So then we have thousands of options, and that's where we need to get into what is going to be your plan for this money? What are your goals, your time frame? How much risk do we want to take? How aggressive do we want to be? Not be. Okay, so I love to talk about that with you because it is a hard question to answer. Right? What type of account? And that's what I say. That would be a great one to talk about one-on-one with you.
Okay, great, thank you.
What else do you? Sure. So in the end, there are three ways we invest. We invest in people, in time, and money. Women in general, we spend a lot of time with our relationships with people. Going back to the woman in my Money Empire program, right? Her big thing is people, right? Business owners, especially women business owners, we're constantly networking and connecting with one another. We're very social. So we're investing a lot into relationships. We also, as women business owners, invest a lot into time. We put a lot of our sweat equity into the business, right? Instead of paying somebody to do something else, we'll save the money and I'll put my time into it instead. And then money. And I found this bag on right when I was putting this together. This is a $3,000 bag, the money sign bag that's all gemmed out. That's a $3,000 bag that you can buy on Neiman Marcus, which I find very funny because Neiman Marcus is going bankrupt during this time. So who's buying the diamond money bag? Anyway, I want to give you guys another minute to think about where have you been focusing most of your investments? Has it been people, time, or money? Okay, let me give you another minute. I really want you to reflect on this and think, where have I been focusing everything? And I know if you're a mom, you have your parents, you might have your children, you might have your grandchildren that you're taking care of, or your siblings too, or aunts and uncles. So a lot of times caretaking has been your focus. That's been where you're investing all of your time and money. Okay. If you look at these workshops, you're investing your time into the workshops, okay, to hopefully grow your money. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit more time to think about it. Does anybody want to share where they've been spending or investing?
Well, I've been investing money because I want my money to earn,
Good.
so I don't have to.
So eventually, yeah, exactly. You can take a pause from work. You can refine your life and retire at some point. Good. Thank you, Darlene. Anybody else?
I have two kids, so I invest the most in my kids right now. And my kids are like 7 and 5, so whatever I have, I open the banking accounts for them, and I put some money, like whatever I have. So and I invest in my kids in the money and time and everything where I have, I invest in them.
Good. And I want you to underneath write where you should be investing. And maybe it is congruent with where you're focusing right now, or maybe you need to make a shift. And when you think about this, especially with the investing, what's been occupying your mind most too? Is it the money concerns? Is it your relationships? Is it not having enough time on your hand? What's been occupying your mind, right? Not just your money, your wallet. What's been occupying your mind, your stress level too? All right, so who's has to make a shift with where they're investing and where they need to invest? Joan, a little bit, Charlie, a little bit. So here's the truth behind investing. I love this chart, actually stole from my money coach friend, Lisa. This is comparing money under the mattress to your basic bank account, savings account, to investing, earning about 5.5%. So you can see the difference. You put $20,000 looks like in 30 years versus earning nothing, earning 2% versus earning 5.5%. So like you said, Darlene, your money can earn a lot more money being invested so that you can retire sooner, you can make shifts in your life a lot sooner, you can get to that financial independence, a freedom place, hopefully a lot sooner. But the one thing I don't like about this graph is it also doesn't take into account inflation. So that $20,000 under the mattress in 30 years isn't worth $20,000, is it? It's worth a whole lot less, right? Inflation has been silently eating away at it until it's smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, we all need cash in the bank. I'm not saying don't have money in the bank, but it's more about being very efficient with our money, very intentional with every dollar that comes into our life and knowing, is this money going into my emergency fund to pay off debt, for retirement savings, or maybe just an investment account to grow my money in general? Okay. So I want you to write down how much money you currently earn. What is the dollar amount? Okay. And write down what is the gross amount, right? Right. I was just talking to someone. She goes, well, I earn $100,000. And she was doing her expenses based on the $100,000, which is a very risky thing to do, right? It's a deadly thing to do because that's not what's actually hitting her bank account that she's using to pay her bills. So I want you to write down the gross amount of your salary, but also what is the monthly amount that hits your bank account that you actually are using to spend? What is the amount that you are actually using to spend and support your life, pay for your life? Okay. And this is a very simple, the basics that we start working with for the money math. The money math never lies to us. So when in doubt, you go back to the money math. Okay. So how much is your gross? How much is your net? What is the number we're working with? That's your net amount, the money that hits your bank account after health insurance, after taxes, after any dues, after if you put away for your 401k, right? What is the net amount that you are using to fund your lifestyle? How much money are you spending each month? And that's where the case information statement comes into place. But how much are you actually spending each month? Do you know your number? How much are you saving? Okay. This is, like I said, the case information statement. I always send people, we have a whole worksheet so that you go through, you put your net worth and your cash flow. And I want to have a little celebration for my new Money Empire woman because we did this and when the program hasn't even started yet. And we went through her expenses. We reworked her debt. We went through her expenses, and I'll give you some of the exercises that we did with her. And she found we worked it enough to get an extra $1,900 a month. The program hasn't even started yet, and she found an extra $1,900 a month. In her world, that is huge. And what's even more amazing is in a year from now, as long as she's committed and focused, she's going to have an extra about $750 to $1,000 extra a year from now. So it's only going to keep improving and getting better. The big piece then for her, what she's going to work on next is what does she do with that extra $1,900 a month? What is she going to do with that? And that's the piece a lot of people forget about. Now I have extra money or I'm breaking even each month. How do I get to the next level? What do I do with that extra money and stuff? So knowing your numbers and doing these exercises, it does pay off. If you think about that, that's almost $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year difference in her life. And it works for people who, even if they are comfortable, right? Their income is more than covering their expenses. But when they do these exercises, they rework it, they're able to retire sooner with a whole heck of a lot more security because they know where they're spending. They know exactly what they're spending. Like I said, the money math never lies. And they're able to live off of a lot less of savings. And we can plan better. We're more realistic with our projections, with our plan. It's so important. Okay. So I've been reading a book, Your Money or Your Life. It's a very, very good book. And it had me do this exercise, and I wanted to include it tonight. How much have you earned throughout your working years? Anybody have any idea how much they've earned in total? Let's look at maybe just the last 10 years. How much have you earned over the last 10 years? And it was interesting, last year when we did our Money Empire program, the one woman who joined said to me, Jess, I've made about $500,000 over the last 5 years. Good money. She goes, guess what I have to show for it? $1,500 in my savings account. I'm sick of living that way. I'm sick of working so freaking hard to have nothing to show for it with my wealth, with my assets, right? Because what does she have to show for it? Stuff. Just more stuff, more things occupying her space, cluttering her space, stressing her out how she's going to pay for it, stressing herself. She already is sick, stressing herself so much that she's going back to the doctors time and time again, racking up her medical bills because she's working herself to death, overworking herself to pay for more stuff. Okay. So I think it's a hard exercise, but I think it's also a very important piece to see. I'm making money. What do I have to show for it in the end? And I think it's also a very empowering thing because it's, heck, this woman, I earned $500,000. I can do that again. But this time I'm going to be a lot smarter with what I do with that money. So if you flip your mindset around and instead of saying how little I have to show for it, look at it as a freaking amazing opportunity. If I earned X amount over the last 10 years, chances are I can do that again over the next 10 years. But what am I going to do differently to make it show in my life? What is your net worth? So again, that case information statement, looking at what are our assets. So you can look at your house, your bank account, retirement accounts. You can look at your kids' college funds. I usually don't like to look at them when we look at your own net worth because that money is going to be spent at some point, hopefully. Okay. Any other investments, stock options you might get with work if you own a business or have equity in the business. What are your total assets? And then look at your liabilities. So it could be your mortgage, a car loan, credit card debt, personal loans, any other. What are the liabilities? And then you break out into your net worth. Okay. Now what I love doing is we have on the sheets, my Google Sheets, we have each month your net worth next to each other. So you get a really good idea which way are you trending. Is your net worth going up? Is it going down? If it's going down, is it because you're overspending, you're depleting your assets? Because your investments are going down because of performance? Do things need to be tweaked then? Or is your net worth going up because you're paying off your debt? We forget about that, but paying off debt, especially if it's a mortgage, you're building equity. So it is a form of saving money. Okay. So are your investments going up because good performance or because you're adding money to them, like your 401k, you're constantly adding money to it. So what is the overall trend? And it does kind of get you hooked into this money game when you see it going in the right direction. How can I accelerate it? How can I do even better? How can I enhance it, what I'm currently doing? And if it's not going that way, it keeps you, like I said before, right? The ups and downs, success and failure. It keeps you from dipping all the way down to failure. It keeps you, okay, maybe you just went down a little bit. We're going to reroute it quicker and get us there a lot quicker and recover, especially in these times, recover quicker. So the breakthrough, when we look at how much you've earned over the life of your career, even just the last 10 years, versus how much you have to show for it. Are you happy with that? Or is it time to change? And I want you to really think about that, what you have to show for it. What are your feelings about it? Is it frustration? Is it excitement? Disappointment? What's going through your mind? Because that's what's gonna fuel your fire. What's gonna keep you going and wanting to commit to something new, something that's going to help, that's gonna reroute you quicker and get you moving forward. So how do you feel when you look at that? Even when I did this, I was like, damn. All the stupid stuff I bought when I first started out working, but I was like, I got a paycheck. This is great. I'm going to go to the mall. I'm going to get new clothes. I'm going to get all this stuff. I'm going to get a nice house. I'm going to furnish it with all this nice stuff. Then you're like, wow, how much stuff have I donated and gotten rid of over the past few years? It is amazing to think about it. And I've come to a point, and it's probably from having 2 young kids, that my priorities, in the end, with money, we buy stuff or we buy time. Early in my career, I was buying stuff. I was filling my life with stuff. Having 2 young kids at home now, I'm buying time. How am I buying time? I'm buying people to help out with the house. I'm buying paying people to help out with my business, right? With my assistant, with my website woman, right? All these different people, all these resources, all the stuff I'm delegating. That is how I'm buying time. Okay. Or you can buy time by retiring sooner. Having more investment, you can retire sooner. You can work less hours. Okay. So this is one exercise that I do think is a daily practice we can do, is taking an audit of everything you own. And you basically say thank you to everything, right? My phone. I'm thankful for this phone, right? I'm thankful for this pen. I'm thankful for my dashboard. I'm thankful for this computer to do these things for. And you shift yourself from wanting more to appreciating what you already have. Because marketing these days, they're genius. Marketing corporations, their advertising agencies, they're geniuses. They keep you wanting more and more and more and wanting more stuff, nicer stuff, right? The BMW wasn't enough. We got to get to the next one. We got to get to the Maserati. They constantly, like, they draw us in instead of realizing you probably do have everything that you need and most of what you want. And it shifts yourself instead of online shopping, right? We're not going out to shop anymore. Online shopping, you look in your closet and you see everything first. Okay. So this is one really good exercise to do, especially it's kind of like the late night cravings for food. Imagine if you thought back to all the stuff you already ate during the day. It probably would put a pause on that. Same thing with, I'm going to go on, oh, there's all these great sales right now. I know my mom, every time I go to her house, there's more packages being delivered. But Jess, the discounts, the sales, they're so good right now. That's what she's justifying it, right? I'm saving money. She always says to my father, I saved you money though, Dan. She saved the money by spending, $200, but she saved $300. So look at that. And my dad always goes, well, give me that $300 then, Alex. But instead of going online to buy another dress, you go and you look at all the dresses you have. Right. It is a very good mindset to be in. Now, when money comes into your life, what do you think? I had a woman and she was in it was similar to our Money Empire program years ago, and I asked her this question and she goes, I am so excited. She's this woman showing the dollars in the air. I'm so excited when I get paid. It's amazing. The next day she felt like the woman on the other side of the screen with her head down, like, oh crap, where did all the money go? And it was such a high, it was such a low for her. She was on this roller coaster. Get paid, broke. Get paid, broke. And it caused a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. Her kids were they were witnessing it. They didn't want to see their mom like that. And it wasn't a good example. It wasn't the example she wanted to set for her kids. She didn't want her kids to see her so stressed out about the bills, how to pay everything, how to fund everything. It made her kids feel guilty for, living in her house, having food, asking for anything. It wasn't a healthy relationship for her kids to witness. She wanted to be a different role model for them. And that's one of the biggest reasons she started in the program. She wanted a different life for her, but she especially didn't want her kids to repeat her bad money habits. And that's what I said earlier tonight. It's never about just you. It's about the people around you too, and having a better world for them. So I want you to write down on your paper, when money comes into your life, what do you think? What do you feel? Are you excited? And then the next minute you realize how many bills you have to pay and you're stressed out because maybe it's not enough. Or maybe this one woman, who was the woman I was talking about who had made $500,000 and had nothing to show for it. Her backstory, she never came from money. She grew up very poor. She was on food stamps. The lights were constantly being shut off on them. Her parents didn't have enough money to pay the electricity every month. She grew up very poor. So whenever money came into her life, it was like, ah, and she shunned it away. She didn't want it, so she just spent it, right? She had no plan for it. She just wanted it out because she didn't no idea what to do with it. And she kept thinking, well, I don't know what to do with money. I'll never know what to do with money. I'll never have enough money to have to figure out what to do with money. So what was she doing? She was constantly putting the money out. Okay.
Jessica, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but my daughter is crying because it's her time to go to bed.
Oh, of course, Monica.
So she's so tired and she's just crying in the kitchen, so I have to go. But thank you so much, and see you next Thursday, right?
Yes, yes, next Thursday. Thank you, Monica.
Bye, ladies. Good night.
Bye. All right. And then the next thing, when money comes in, what do you do? What's the first thing that you do? Do you immediately go to see how many bills you have to pay? Do you immediately set some money aside to savings? What are the habits that you do? Do you wish it to be more? Are you manifesting it to be more money? What do you do when the money does come into your life? And these are the habits, right? So we started with the beliefs and the emotions. Now are the habits. And this is the most important thing. My women, they start saving money from day one because what do? We set aside at least 1% each time you get paid. Everyone could live with that 1% of their income. Okay, 1%. And we build from there. Right? It's not like we're chunking 50% off to savings. We need to catch up. We need to suck it away. We start with 1%. Okay. So what are the habits that you do when money comes into your world? Do you plan it out? Do you try to balance it out? Do you hoard money different places? Now I know one woman, she would have these habits of spending a ton of money one month and then go months without spending any month. But it's because she racked up her credit card bill so high, she was constantly trying to recover the next few months. She would get it down and then she would do it again on repeat. So for her, it was more about pacing out large expenses. So it wasn't one huge month. It was more stable, right? That financial stability, it was much more stable. And that's where we say, that's where we need to build from. Okay. So now we're going to get down to the homework. If you want to take a part of the homework, I want you to write down the systems you have, right? What are the habits you have when you get paid? The emotions that come along with it. Where does the money go? Okay. And as you think about this, really dive into what are these habits, these beliefs that you are following? Because here's the thing, they're so second nature to us, we don't even realize we're doing them. And that's why I said slow down is a very good mode, because we need to see what is so second nature to us that we just do it without thinking, right? I'm just clicking and buying this thing because I'm not thinking about it. I order takeout a few times a day, a few times a week. I don't even think about it, right? It's just so second nature. I'm just doing it. So putting pauses in our life before we just act is so important, okay? So writing down what you do when you get paid, the behaviors, and what you believe, okay? And really, where's the money going? Okay. And then another piece that you can do, which is a great step too, is printing out your bank statements and your credit card statements, okay? And each item, I want you to prioritize on a scale of 1 to 5, okay? One is, we'll say one is, I don't need it, could care less about it. 5 is, I've got to have it. And when you do it too, maybe it's a priority, maybe it's a 5, but there's a cheaper version of it. Or housing, you can downsize. Or my husband and I, we just switched our phones. We saved like $250 a month by switching our phones. Same carrier, just different, and lower payments. So maybe there's a cheaper option for it. Or like I said, for that one woman, we spaced it out more, right? If you need a massage, maybe we space it out a little bit more. You like to go out to eat, we space them out a little bit more. And then crossing off 3 items that you no longer wish to spend money on. I'm not a big believer in budgets. I think they're very restricting. But when you start tracking your money and you do these exercises, it's more liberating. And you realize that you have a lot more opportunities with your money than you think. And it's more about spending money on the things that mean a lot to you, that fulfill you, versus just the crap that occupies us too. And I know the case information statement, usually the tracking stuff is very generic, right? Food expense, travel expense. But when you go into those, I think it's important to look at food. Is this eating out? Is this eating out because I'm so busy at work, I don't have time to prepare food at home? Is it eating out because I'm entertaining for work? Or I'm entertaining other people a lot? Am I feeding children? Am I feeding their friends? Am I feeding my friends a lot? Is that fair? Am I always the house that people go to feed? Is that fair? Maybe I need to put some boundaries on that. When you look at travel, how much of that is for work? How much of it is for pleasure? Majority of it, not now, but majority of the time it's for work. Travel, is it a place that you're going because you want to explore it and see it? Or is it a beach because you're so exhausted from your work, you need a vacation to relax and get yourself back to sanity mode? So reflecting on different questions like that and understanding, okay, I'm spending this amount of money on clothes. Is it because I'm trying to feel good about myself? Am I trying to fill a void of insecurities? Is it because I need a certain get up for work, certain presentation for work? Yeah, I always think about the fashion industry with that. They get paid horribly, but they have to have the high-end clothes. And like, that's a horrible hamster wheel to be on. That's the busy and broke hamster wheel to be on. Okay. So I hope everybody does some of these exercises. I did give you a few exercises to do. If you can just do one of them by next week, that's a huge step, I think. It's a huge step. And again, this will be recorded. So if you want to go back through it to see what the homework is, feel free. You'll get the email, and you'll get the email next week for the reminder. All right. Does anybody have any questions about this? Was this helpful? See, everyone's on mute right now. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. There we go. Now we can talk. Was this good?
Very good.
Okay, I'm happy. Good. All right. All right, ladies. Well, I hope everybody has a good night.
Thank you, Jess. Have a good night. Thank
you
you so
too.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye, Darlene. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Be safe.
You stay safe and well.